Katya Gorbacheva. I am a vegan powerlifter and bodybuilder, and I got a meal prep today. So first, I'm just going to show you what I bought at the store, and we are going to make some seitan, probably sweet and savory. We'll see how it goes. Some buckwheat porridge, maybe a salad, tofu stir fry, and maybe something for dessert. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But so many people ask me to film how to make my seitan buns, so I'm going to show you how to make bread-like seitan today. Let's get going. Celery, bell peppers, radishes, onions. Most of that is going to, except for the radishes, is going to go into the tofu scramble. 2 things of extra farm tofu. This one is from Sprouts, this store right here. So the reason why I like this is because it's higher in protein. You can buy other tofu, but if you buy tofu that's less firm, first it's gonna fall apart, and second, it's not gonna have as much protein. Some garlic. This is just a jar that I use. I cut up my own garlic in there. Himalayan black salt. So this is what is going to make our tofu scramble taste eggy. Himalayan black salt, if you don't know what this is, it's a sulfur salt. So I get this not necessarily because of the nutrient content, but mainly because if I miss the flavor of eggs and I'm making something like a quiche or something that would typically have eggs in it, I'm going to use that. Spices, salt, nutritional yeast, that is veggie bouillon, vital wheat gluten, that is the main ingredient for your seitan, apple cider vinegar so that it raises, baking soda, that is my spice mix. I will tell you about that later. Tapioca flour or any other white flour or starch. And actually our 2 weird ingredients today. So this is juice from pickled dills, and this is beet juice. I just used whatever the jar I had. So this is from pickled beets. So I really like throwing either a vegetable into seitan, or if you don't have it, for some extra flavor, if you're sick of soy sauce, you can add something else salty, namely juice from any pickled vegetable. So I have these bread and butter chips juice, which is really tasty, so I'm gonna use that. And that's my buckwheat. So this is Russian roasted buckwheat. It is very different from Chinese buckwheat, which you can find it like in an Asian store. I don't know if it's called Chinese buckwheat everywhere, but that's what I call it. But it's not roasted, so if you can see, it's different color. I think the roasted one is a lot more tasty, but obviously I'm biased because I grew up in Russia. So you can roast it yourself in the oven. I don't do that. I just use the roasted stuff. All right, so I'm probably going to be making 2 types of seitan, sweet and savory. For both of them, I'm going to use zucchini as a filler. You don't have to do this. If you want for your seitan to come more meaty and stringy, you can use no vegetables at all. I like to fill it up with a vegetable because I think, well, A, it's more volume, right? And then I think it gives it a really nice kind of a smooth texture rather than like, you know, meaty and kind of tough. I don't really like that. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop up this zucchini and stick it into my bullet blender. Oh, by the way, if you're tracking, if you need to know macros for this, I kind of already know the approximate macros from my seitan. You can see them on the blog. I have 2 versions for that. But if you have never done this before, I highly recommend using a scale and measuring how much of each ingredient you add up. So I'm going to put the blender bottle on a scale, zero it out, throw my zucchini in there. It's 300 grams. Cool. Now you can write all of the ingredients and the amounts on a piece of paper and then go into my FitnessPal recipes, create a new recipe, add all the ingredients, and split it up per the amount of servings that your seitan is going to have. Or whatever the dish, your seitan, your tofu stir fry, your tofu scramble, and anything else. And then you're going to have perfect macros, and you can add that to your food diary and not worry, not guess what your macros are. All right, so I'm going to also add. This is very challenging for me because I usually don't measure my water in seitan. So this has about 5 ounces. Let's make it 6. Cool, 6 ounces of water, I think. Yes. Amazing. And I bought radishes. Now I peeled them, cut them up, and I'm just gonna stick them in the fridge right now. But what do you do with radish greens? You would usually throw them away, right? Well, that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take them and I'm going to throw them into my seitan. You know why? Because I don't want to eat them, right? I don't want to put them in the salad. They don't really taste like anything. They don't taste very good. They taste, I lied. They kind of taste like a wild herb. I don't know. Either way, unless you're a fan of radish greens or like carrot greens, all of those, you know, greens that you don't really eat from root vegetables, you can freeze them and add them to your smoothies. So instead of, you know, buying salad, eating that separately, you can just bake that into your desserts. You can bake that into your proteins, such as seitan, or you can add it to stir fries. Now, I don't want it in my tofu scramble. I could have just frozen it, put it into my little cubes in the fridge, in the freezer, and add to shakes. But because I'm making seitan, I'm just gonna bake it now. I have been adding protein not to shakes, but to my oatmeal lately, so I would not want any greens in there, that's for sure. I think I can add the pickle juice now. I changed my mind. I may not make the sweet seitan. I don't really crave sweet seitan right now. We'll just make it all one batch. And make it all savory. Maybe 2 kinds of savory. I don't know. I feel like a huge batch of delicious green-packed savory seitan right now. Look at that. All nice and blended up. I'm just curious how it tastes. It literally tastes like butter pickles. Oh my god. It literally just tastes like this. You cannot taste that there was some radish greens. You cannot taste that there's zucchini in there. The zucchini is like my favorite, honestly. You can put it anywhere, and whatever you put it in masks its flavor because it doesn't have a prominent flavor. It's insane. It's so good. So if I did not use pickle juice, I would have probably used soy sauce. So I would probably use about 1/4 cup of soy sauce and 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast. So no soy sauce this time. Just for half of this in here. Let's see. No, all of it actually. All of it is fine. So there was probably about 4 ounces of pickle juice and about 6 ounces of water. 1 large zucchini and a bunch of greens. You don't have to add that. So to that, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to our buns raise, some stevia, not a lot, just a dash. Cool. Nutritional yeast, there you are. About 1/4 to 1/3 cup of nutritional yeast, depending on how cheesy you want it. Some baking powder. Some baking soda. Did you know that if you add baking soda to your desserts, pastries, anything you make. Baked goods, let's say that. If you need we call it, extinguish it with either apple cider vinegar or lemon juice or boiling water. Everybody in Russia does it. Not a lot of people in America, I think, do that. But that is to kind of remove the soda flavor from your thing and to make it raise more. So that is what I did. White root gluten. Okay. I like to measure this because I like to make sure there's at least 300 grams of gluten in my seitan. Oh shit, I didn't turn this on, damn it. Well, that was about 50 grams that I didn't count. Alright, so let's add about half and blend it and see what the texture looks like. Okay, so this is 127. This is 130 pounds plus the 50 that I didn't count, so that's probably about, what, 180? And this is my seitan mixture. That includes coriander, some Indian spices. They may not go into your seitan, but I think this has cumin, coriander, a bunch of baking spices, and maybe maca, lucuma, things like that. So I'm gonna add that in. I'm probably gonna skip out on the spicy stuff and just add the black pepper. No cayenne pepper in seitan today. Just some black pepper. All right. Let's make it happen. All right, so this is about half of the gluten. And as you can see, the texture is kind of uniform, but it's still pretty, like, the batter is not, it doesn't come together yet. So how you know it's ready is, the flavor is really good. How you know it's ready is the batter comes together, kind of clumps in one big ball. So, let's see if this works. This is about 300 grams of gluten. Now grab your baking sheet. Drop some oil on it. You can just use a spray if you are trying to go the least oil possible. And I am just going to grab some random veggie like this spring onion and spread my dough around. You can grab a piece of paper towel too. And spread my oil on the dough. Yes. Alright. Ooh, the pans are hot. Yay. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna get my hands slightly oily too. And I should have gotten one hand oily. Never mind. Oy. Get this baby out here. Alright, cool. Now I am just going to see. Oh man, you see the consistency is so nice. You see how stringy it is? Alright, so this seitan is going to be stringy. It's going to be meaty and stringy. So now, here's the option for you. If you want for this to be desserty, instead of zucchini, add a banana. Alright, 350. That may be a little too hot, but we'll see how it goes. Get in the oven, seitan! Woo! I'm gonna set a timer on 10 minutes and then check it after 10 minutes and probably flip it. I usually go for about 17 minutes, flipping halfway through. All right, now, stir fry, tofu stir fry, and buckwheat. So first, I got this huge thing of celery, and don't take me wrong, celery is amazing, but I don't like eating it. I mainly just buy it for volume. So this huge thing of celery, I don't know, is maybe like 50 calories per the whole stack or something. Something very low. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna chop it up, throw it on the pan. So I will show you one cool trick. Woo! Here in a second, I'm gonna show you a cool trick for when you don't want to use oil. So celery is kind of hard, so I want for it to soften a little bit, and that's why I put it in the pan first. But now we're going to deal with some onions. And onions I'm going to cook up together with buckwheat. So first off, let's rinse my buckwheat. Now again, don't forget to write down how much you're cooking if you're counting your macros. I would usually do about a cup of whatever the grain, buckwheat, quinoa, rice, and then fill up another cup or two with some veggies of your preference, like onion, and celery, and carrots, and kind of give it some volume. I'm loosely tracking right now, so I'm not going to measure it, but this is about a cup of buckwheat right here. Don't forget to rinse it. Sometimes I would get a bag of red, yellow, and I think I never buy white. What are white onions used for? Yellow are kind of your normal onion, and purple are sweet, so I really like those in salads, in fresh salads, even though I think it's really funny. Americans, when I came from Russia, we've always just cut up our onions and put them in salads, but Americans believe that onions develop some toxic whatever. So if you cut them up, you need to cook them right away. And I'm like, cool. Well, I should have been dead by now. All right. Cutting some onion. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it into this beautiful non-stick pot. Amazing. And hot. And we are going to caramelize them. So for caramelizing onions without oil, one thing you do need is patience. Well, no, you need water and patience. So I'm just gonna leave them be, put it on medium, maybe medium to high heat, and just leave them be. And whenever they start burning just a little bit, I'm going to add splashes of room temperature water. So that will deglaze the pan, and that will create the caramelization effect, if you will. I'll show you when it happens. All right, one onion to the buckwheat, and the second onion will go to celery. Very nice. All right, I think it is time to add other stuff. I'm going to add some garlic to my stir fry. Quite a bit of garlic. Some garlic on top of onions. And into the stir fry. I keep saying stir fry. It is a scramble. Just a dash of sulfur salt. It's very potent in flavor, so don't add too much. Black pepper. I don't have fresh parsley, so I'm gonna use dry parsley. Love me some parsley. It's really sweet, so I highly recommend if you don't use parsley. It's so nutritious. It's so good. And it's quite sweet. Cumin powder, turmeric, and cayenne pepper. You don't have to add the cayenne. I really like spicy, so I am gonna. And I do have normal salt, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna add it. And I think I'm gonna add some basil to my buckwheat. So nutritional yeast will add at the end, depending on the flavor. And I did get a ginger root. Sure, I'll add a small piece of ginger. Why not? I was gonna say I haven't decided yet, but why not? Here's another trick. If you want to peel ginger really fast, you want to use a spoon and do this. It's a lot faster than using a knife, and skin just comes off. So I don't think they're ready to flip yet. All right, before they burn, I gotta show you what I do. I put some water in there. See how this is brown in the bottom? Oh, it's slightly burned. Oh man. Boom. Second onion. While we're here, I have time to cut up some peppers. Oh, it's doing this again. They're doing this again. You see our delicious caramelized onions. Man, I'm out of water. Oh my god. I'm out of water. Boom. Put some water in there again. And stir it up again. We're almost burnt on the bottom. And probably I'm going to let them sit like this. I'll just eat a whole. It's okay. Alright. Woo! Yeah! See the difference? Shut up, timer. See the difference? This is what your seitan is supposed to look like when you need to flip it. Now, all right, now they're so ready. Yeah, golden on the bottom and easily flippable. They're kind of wobbly at first. And you can already see because this has it has a vegetable and it has some baking soda and apple cider vinegar, they're going to start to shrink. Oh my god. You see, they have already started to shrink. This is so interesting. The moment you take them out, so just saying, don't freak out. They're going to not be as fluffy. They're going to shrink just a little bit when you take them out. And boom! Satan's blood. Alright, I don't know how long it needs to stay there. Let's see. Alright, let's throw some tofu in there. Is it done? I think it's done, but it could totally use hanging out in the oven for a little bit longer. So this is your consistency. Yeah. Well, hello again. I'm sorry for filming the beginning and end of the video when it's already dark. Not my fault, I have shit to do. So anyways, the food is cool right now and we are ready to split it into these beautiful Tupperware containers and split our MyFitnessPal recipe into an equal amount of servings and just not worry about tracking every single goddamn thing every day. Now we can just be like, buckwheat breakfast, boom, tofu scramble lunch, boom, and seitan for dinner, boom, and then add whatever else you want on top of it. So, first and foremost, it really helps to know how much your kitchen bowls and pots weigh. I was not prepared, as you can see. I have no idea how much this weighs. So the reason why is because, for example, if this is 6 servings, I put it on the scale, I know that it weighs like 3,500 milliliters. I can subtract the weight of this giant bowl and just split into 6, and I know how many ounces I need to separate in each bowl, right? In each Tupperware. Now the problem is I'm just gonna have to play around with it until it's about equal in each, and then multiply that by 6, and I'm going to know how many ounces was the whole deal. Why do I need this? Well, that's because in MyFitnessPal, you're gonna log however many ounces is however many servings, so you know how many ounces is each serving. Am I making sense? Okay, when you meal prep, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't do this often, you're like, why? You're probably very confused. Anyways, so what I'm going to do is this nifty thing that only the electronic scale can do this. If you got a manual scale, I got a problem. I got a problem for you, my friend. Because you can't zero it out. So I put the scale, I put the pot on the scale, I zeroed it out, and now I am just going to grab some negative amounts of that beautiful porridge and throw it into the bowl. Oh, by the way, before that, I want to try it. I haven't even tried it yet. Mmm, that's tasty. It's not salty and not sweet, so I don't think I'm gonna add anything else. It's just onion, basil, and some spices in there. And I'm gonna leave it neutral in case I want to have it with like a banana and yogurt in the morning, and in case I want to have it with like a tofurkey sausage or something savory in the evening. So for now, I'm just gonna put like 250 grams in each container and see how many containers I get. Now, when you log this into MyFitnessPal, what you're gonna do is you're going to go to recipes, add a recipe, add ingredients manually, and then you're going to list a cup of buckwheat, 1 yellow onion, which is I think about 150 grams. Spices don't really have calories because you use so little, so if this was like a ton of spices, then you would log them, but if it's a dash, then you're fine. If you added salt and you're tracking sodium, you can do that. I don't track my sodium right now, so I don't care. So if I were logging this recipe, I would literally just do buckwheat and mushrooms. Why is this one more? We gotta do some green onions. My plate's getting green onions too. And we got some green bell peppers. All right. And last but not least Get some sesame seeds. Yeah, amazing.